My main carry gun is a Sig P365XL. And I got a comment on the channel the other day on like a concealed carry video I did a while back. Carrying a Sig, diabolical. A lot of people think that. So back in July, if I remember right, we had the whole thing where the American airman was killed by a Sig from an uncommanded discharge, right? Turns out that was wrong. And to be quite honest, they even had me believing that. But it goes back even farther than that. So I had a conversation with my cousin way before that even happened. And he was texting me about SIG and about things going on with P320s firing on their own, uncommanded discharges. And I told him that I was sure that, I wasn't sure about anything, but yes, probably there were some uncommanded discharges, but that I thought that probably it was also a real easy thing for people that had negligent discharges to blame if it was with a P320 because of the uncommanded discharges that had been. Turns out that's exactly what this case is. This is a no-win kind of story to cover on the channel here, because either the SIG lovers are going to bash you if you say anything bad about SIG, and of course the SIG haters are going to bash you if you don't believe that, of course, the SIG pistols are just, going off in people's holsters constantly. So I did a couple of different videos about this when this whole thing went down. One of them was a short in which it wasn't a SIG, but it was my M&P 2.0 in a holster with the Safariland QLS fork. And I talked about how allegedly the guy had set the holster down and the gun fired uncommanded, killing the guy, shooting him in the chest. Well, that was the story. That was the story that was put out there. And this lie, we're going to find out in a minute, really almost put SIG in the ground. I don't know how close. SIG has military contracts. SIG is doing fine. But turned a lot of people against them as far as their public image goes. And that was the story. And that was because multiple airmen corroborated this story. Well, it turns out that the guy actually pointed his service pistol, his SIG M18, which is a P320, at the other guy in a joking manner. Now, let's be clear here. There is no such thing as pointing a firearm at another person in a joking manner. That is absolutely not okay. But apparently that's what really happened. And I still don't know if he pulled the trigger or if the gun went off. Either way, the guy would still be alive if his friend, quote unquote friend, didn't point a loaded pistol at him. And none of us knew that at the time. And so that's why all the videos I made, I said, well, allegedly, this is what happened. And of course, the people that love SIG couldn't stand that I would even say that allegedly this is what happened. And then the people that hate SIG can't believe that I carry a SIG. I really don't have a dog in the fight, but it is a problem. And I said that in one of the videos that, if this is true that these pistols are going off by their own, this is a problem for the entire gun community because it gives anti-gunners ammo. When there's, people say guns don't kill people. Well, if there is a gun that kills people, then, then they could say that all guns have the possibility of doing that. Turns out this specific instance, that's not what happened. And 2 people actually did die because of this SIG going off, but not necessarily because it was an uncommanded discharge. The guy that pointed the gun at the other airman that died took his own life as well. So it's a very, very sad situation. And the 2 other airmen that corroborated the story, well, they both got charged for lying, and now they're going to do a little bit of jail time. A little bit. This video is sponsored by Venice AI. If you're not on the AI train yet, you are missing out. And you know what? I was one of those people missing out for a very long time. I'm always kind of a late adapter to these things, but AI is honestly amazing. The stuff that you can do with it is absolutely incredible. It's a very powerful tool for just about anything in your life. I keep finding more and more amazing things you can do with it. The thing is, though, is that things like ChatGPT and stuff like that, they're actually stealing your information and they're selling it. The former director of the NSA is on the board of ChatGPT. That's not a good thing. You know, Google and stuff like that, you know, Facebook, whatever, they listen to you and they advertise to you based on what you say. Well, what else are these things doing with your information? They're selling it to third parties, including governments. You don't, especially if you're a 2A person, you don't really want the government listening in on your conversation. So that's where Venice AI comes in. They're a full AI platform, but they are private and permissionless, meaning that they don't sell any of your information to anybody else. It's totally private. You get all of the benefits of AI without those downsides. So you might as well try it out. Now, if you use my link, that's venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical, you can get 20% off on your pro plan. The pro plan is the way to go. There's just a ton more that you can do with it. You can use all the tools that AI has to offer. And I mean, by now, AI can do so much for your productivity, for your organization, your creativity. Just check it out. It's amazing what you can do. Again, 20% off with code SawtoothTactical at venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical. The thing is this. Does this absolve SIG of everything? Does this mean the P320 is good to go? Not necessarily. So the U.S. Air Force Global Strike Command, which are the guys that handle nuclear weapons, well, they pulled all of the SIG P320s after this happened because of the story that all of these guys said together, and they inspected all of them. Well, it turns out that 2% of those guns, and there's thousands of guns, had problems with either the sear, the striker, or the trigger assembly. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to guns, it is. And that is unacceptable. And the other part about it is this. The only reason that everybody believed this story to be true is because of all of the other uncommanded discharges that have happened with the SIG P320. So even though this one specific instance turned out to be a big lie, and yes, in this one specific instance, SIG is absolved. Their gun didn't just kill somebody from the holster being set down on a counter. Somebody broke multiple rules of firearm gun safety and a person died because of it. 2 people died because of it. Because I'm sure he had a hard time living with himself after killing his friend and then lying about it. And I'm sure he was looking at a long, lengthy period of incarceration. I don't know exactly what it would have been. The 2 other guys that, backed up his lie, they're getting like 30 days, 15 days, and, a very small fine. Like, not really much of a big deal. Actually, I'm surprised how little they're getting punished for it. But they also weren't the ones that caused someone's death. But that is the thing. Even though the P320 wasn't at fault in this instance, the only reason that the story was so believable and spread so quickly throughout the gun community is because of past instances of SIG P320s firing on their own. So I don't think that it's necessarily wrong that people believed this story. It was a believable story. At the same time, I do think that all of us, myself included, because I did make videos about this, and the more I looked into it, the more I believed the story. That maybe we need to take a step back and wait until we hear the full truth before we just start spreading rumors. Now, again, it's hard for me to blame anybody, myself included, because this story was so believable because this pistol has been known to do this. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think it was wrong for multiple people, again, myself included, I'm no better than anyone else in this, to have put videos out, to have spread this story? Now again, I did consistently say allegedly, because none of us knew for sure what the truth was. But the story that was being told was pretty consistent. Or do you think that, I don't know, what do you think? Do you trust Sig now? Do you trust the P320 now? Because I don't think that just because this one instance wasn't the fault of the P320, I don't think that necessarily means that the P320 is as safe, for instance, as that M&P. At the same time, I'm still going to continue to carry my P365. That is a totally safe pistol, totally different design. And there's other SIGs that I think are awesome. I still really want a Spear LT. I want the P211 GTO, they're 2011. I've handled one, and for the price, that is a frickin' sweet gun. I want a 226, single action only, X Legion. Sig makes a lot of cool stuff. I don't want a P320. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.